Hi everyone, Dr. Mike Ferguson. I want to welcome you to my office today. I sat down earlier in the week after our Coalition for Suicide Prevention meeting and began to draft an email giving you all a update as to what we discussed in our meeting. But as I began to develop that email and put our thoughts together and the things we accomplished in our meeting, it just began to grow real large. So I thought, let me just give you a video update of what took place this past Tuesday when we met together as a Coalition for Suicide Prevention. The first thing I want to do is I want to thank Woody very much for helping to facilitate the space for us to meet in this past week. Community Partnership of the Ozarks was unavailable for other things that they were doing, and so Woody really stepped in and in spite of their recent move, helped us to have a really great meeting place. So Woody, thank you so much. I want to thank Ashley and Trish and Woody for being a part of that meeting. We had some very rich discussion about our mission. We're beginning to draft our mission statement, which we want to understand a little bit more about what is our business as a coalition for suicide prevention in Springfield and Greene County and the counties around us, maybe in Southwest Missouri. We actually even talked about the geography, where we want to have the scope of what we're doing as a coalition. So it was great discussion. We had some really great things to discuss, and I'll bring those up to you here in just a few minutes. But I do want to share with you some of the other things that I shared with our coalition meeting, and that was the 9th annual Show Me You Care About Suicide Prevention Conference that is sponsored by the Department of Mental Health in Missouri, as well as the Missouri Suicide Prevention Project. And so Scott Perkins is our leader for that in our state. And so they're having their 9th annual Show Me You Care About Suicide Prevention Conference. It'll take place on Tuesday, July the 15th of this year, and it will begin at 7 o'clock and end at 4:30 in the evening. So 7 o'clock in the morning to 4:30. I plan on going, and I hope that some of you will also want to be a part of this meeting and give some representation for us here in the southwest part of Missouri, and especially from the coalition. And we certainly want to invite you to be a part of that. You can email me if you want me to send the website address for you to register. But that'll be Tuesday, July 15th, and that's the 9th annual Show Me You Care About Suicide Prevention Conference. The other thing that I gave out was this tool. I'm not sure you can see it. Was the suicide-related terminology. And I came across several blog posts. One of the things I want to encourage you to do in order to keep up with sort of what's happening in the suicide prevention world is to potentially put suicide as a Google alert in your Google Chrome, or if you use some other kind of web development system. Put that in there and get some information about what's happening with suicide across our world. But I came across a blog from one of the websites that I subscribe to, and it was about suicide-related terminology. And basically they gave us several terms that were generally acceptable, and those that are new and emerging, and those that are really not accepted within suicide prevention and suicide intervention or postvention. So just want to pass that along to you. I'll have that in an email for you. We also gave out the Handbook of Suicide Prevention. These were given to me by Scott Perkins, our State Director of Suicide Prevention, and we gave out one of these to everyone to give them an idea of what resources that we possibly could be a part of. And then also I had given out a guide for speaking publicly. I'll get this down here. A guide for speaking publicly about suicide. It's about 4 or 5 pages, but it gives you an idea of how you can represent suicide in our community. If you're asked to speak in one of our groups that are around our community, this would be a great tool for you. That tool actually came from this group, the Action Alliance Framework for Successful Messaging on suicide. And so what I've done is I've went to their website and just ran off several of their articles on how we can be successful in messaging and marketing suicide prevention to our community, and how we can do that in a really good way that invites participation and that would not offend somebody. So those are great places and things to go to. I think I sent you the link for that one. And also, as a member of the American Association of Suicidology, I also get the Journal of Suicide and Life-Threatening Behavior. And of course, everything's PDF today, so there's not a real journal. But anyway, I wanted to pass that along to you. If you're doing research on suicide and you need some peer-reviewed articles that are related to suicide and life-threatening behaviors, please email me the keywords you're trying to search, and I'll go on there and do my best to get you some research material. So those are the kinds of things we discussed a little bit in our meeting, but really the real meat of what we discussed this past week as we met together as a Coalition for Suicide Prevention was this idea of what is our business, what is our mission as a suicide prevention group. And one of the things we talked about, one of the things we did is we had everybody write down their ideas of the mission statement for our coalition. And it was really interesting as all four of us in this group shared what we sensed was really our passion and our mission as a suicide coalition. And so anyway, we began to unwrap some of that stuff. And then I gave examples of about 10 different coalitions for suicide preventions that are across the nation. And they had a wide variety of different mission statements. But I had those together and I gave those to those who were in attendance. And that really sparked a lot of great conversation. And so one of the things that we talked about was, do we see ourselves as a coalition coordinating suicide prevention in our community? Or do we see ourselves as being implementers or people who bring suicide prevention to the community? And it was a general consensus among everyone that was there that we really want to be very proactive and to bring suicide prevention to the forefront of our community and to those that are working in the field and those that are interested in being a part of reducing suicide attempts and suicides in our community. And then we talked about what does that look like? Training, resourcing. We talked about educating, but one of the things that really came to light is, where do we want to do our mission? And we realized there was a tremendous need across southwest Missouri, especially in some of our rural communities and some of our counties that have no mental health participation, but they need something else. And so we really looked at that and said, do we want to be as large as that? And we talked about our scope. And so can we really ramp up to be able to be a Southwest Missouri coalition for suicide prevention? Or do we want to start right now in our community? And really most of us began to talk about the fact that we need to do something in which we have the greatest amount of impact. And so that was here in Springfield, where actually Ashley was very willing to look at some data to see if we needed to be Springfield oriented or if our data came from Greene County. So we may need to talk in terms of Springfield or Greene County. And so we talked a little bit about some of those kinds of issues. And it was just, like I said, it was a very rich discussion, and all of us were just really enriched by what all of us had to say. So I really want to invite you to be in our meeting our next time. That'll be Tuesday, July 8th. It'll be from 12 o'clock till about 1:15. And so we want to encourage you, if you haven't been a part of the coalition meetings, I'd love for you to come, especially now as we draft and begin to flesh out what our mission is all about. And we had some significant times together, and things are beginning to get formulated. And so we're looking forward to you being in our next meeting. If you have any questions, please email me at drmike@ruokusa.org, and that's the letter R, letter U, the letter okusa.org, and I'll get back with you as quick as I can. So I hope this video has helped you stay on the same page as what we're doing, and I hope to see you in July.